1852CA. We are back on record for a review of the contempt that was rescheduled from the other day. May I have the names of our participants, please?
Suzanne Wilhelm, guardian ad litem for Angelina Warner.
Morning, Your Honor. Ariel Berger here is the attorney for Deanne Warner.
Michael McFarland, attorney guardian ad litem for Deanne Warner.
Larry Lee on behalf of Dale Warner and Mark Weisberg.
Good morning, Your Honor. John on behalf of the successor conservator Charles Bullock.
Okay, and from the jail?
Dale Warner.
Mark Weisberg.
Thank you. All right. There were three specific things that the court was looking to address as a result of the last review. Mr. Lee, would you like to introduce any evidence in compliance with that order?
Morning, Your Honor. Larry Lee on behalf of Dale Warner and Mark Weisberg. Since we were in court on Monday, the court requested that we produce three items. One was QuickBook access for Charles Bullock. We did that through his attorney, John Polderman. We provided copies of the logins and their acceptances that we circulated amongst the court and all the attorneys and all the interested parties. Next, the late law invoices were to be provided. They were provided previously and were again provided again on Monday, just so that everybody had them. Third, there was an issue regarding bank account. In court, the court mentioned the Old National Bank account. Jaron Warner, who is Mr. Warner's son, who is a power of attorney, went to the bank yesterday to add Charles Bullock's name to the account through a power of attorney. In order to conduct the transaction, though, because they are business accounts, Mr. Warner must be there physically. I have a letter from the bank to that effect regarding all of the accounts. It's been circulated to the court, the attorneys, and all the interested parties. Lastly, in yesterday's order, there were some comments about a premier bank account for Warwick Farms LLC. That account was closed 9 months ago by the Michigan Unemployment Agency. They garnished the account to zero. The bank account was then closed for no activity. I can report that as an officer of the court. My understanding is that Mr. Polderman subpoenaed those records and received a subpoena response to that effect. I have spoken to all of the attorneys this morning. All of them have confirmed that Mr. Warner and Mr. Weisberg are in compliance with the court's contempt order from last week and the continuation from Monday. I would ask that they be released forthwith. Mr. Weisberg's daughter is getting married this weekend. He should have spent the last few days preparing for the wedding. His daughter and her fiance were due to meet with them to finish things up and get ready for the wedding on Saturday. And having now complied with this court's contempt order, I would ask that they be released forthwith. Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Polderman.
I do believe what Mr. Lieb said is correct as far as the production of documents. I do also think, though, it's critical that Mr. Bullock be on the bank accounts forthwith. It does seem that Mr. Warner has to be present to do that, or they're looking for a special order from the court. So my only request is that before the end of the day, and I think Mr. Lieb has agreed to prepare this, or I can certainly prepare it too and circulate it to the parties, is just an order that authorizes Mr. Bullock to be placed on the account. So Old National has that. And then as a condition of his release, that Mr. Warner immediately go to Old National Bank with Mr. Bullock and have him added on the accounts so that doesn't get lost in the shuffle here.
Your Honor, that will not get lost in the shuffle. I spoke with the woman who issued the letter yesterday at the bank. And the requirements were very clear, and I asked her to put it in writing so that I could supply that to the court as evidence in my conversation. So there will be no gamesmanship, no misunderstandings. Mr. Warner will go right to the bank and add Mr. Bullock's name.
Comments from our other attorneys this morning?
I have nothing additional, Your Honor.
I support Mr. Polderman's position, Your Honor.
I have nothing further, Your Honor, and support Mr. Coleman's position. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, Mr. Polderman, if you want to draft and circulate an order requiring Old National to put the conservator's name on those accounts and obviously let Mr. Lieb know if you need any specific information for that purpose. I do find otherwise that it would appear that the parties have brought themselves into compliance with the court's orders and thereby have officially purged themselves of the civil contempt with the exception of that last and final piece. For practical purposes, obviously we have another hearing set for today in the matter 22-52433 ML. I would like to offer in the name of judicial economy, as well as for an opportunity for Mr. Polderman to circulate that proposed order, that we simply recess on this particular matter in the CA matter until approximately 11:30 or sometime around lunch, and then we'll go ahead and effectuate the execution of the order regarding Old National, as well as an order from this court documenting compliance with the court orders, and then effectuate the release of Mr. Weisberg and Mr. Warner so that they could join us in person for the proceedings this afternoon. Mr. Lee.
Your Honor, if Mr. Polderman could just simply draft the order and email it to Don Powell this morning, we could certainly look at it in the next few minutes while we're waiting for Mr. Flood and his team to get here. I don't know why we need to wait till 11:30. Oh, hello, Mr. Flood. Thanks for joining me. Sure. Thank you.
All right, very well. So we'll recess in the matter of the 21-1-51852 CA matter for the time being. Mr. Polderman, when can we expect to see that proposed order?
It's being drafted right now, so I would imagine I'll have it circulated in the next half hour to 45 minutes.
Very good. Let us know if we need to take a little break.